4,000 miles beneath your feet, something just moved. Not an earthquake, not lava. Something deeper, older, and stranger than anything we've found before. Scientists just confirmed that Earth is hiding a second inner core, a ball inside a ball, buried inside the planet you're standing on right now. And the strangest part? It's not spinning the way the rest of the Earth spins. Something down there is behaving like it has a mind of its own. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at the ground under your feet completely differently. Think about your life for a second. You wake up. You go through your routine. You assume you know what's underneath the surface of your day, your relationships, your own mind. But how many times have you found out that something you thought was simple was actually layered, complicated, hiding a version of itself you never expected? That's exactly what happened to our planet. For decades, we thought we understood Earth's core. Solid ball in the middle, liquid layer around it, done. Case closed. Except it wasn't, because deep inside that solid core, scientists just found another core. A core inside the core. And it's been there this whole time, quietly existing while every human who ever lived walked around clueless above it. Here's where it gets unsettling. In 2023, a geophysicist named Xiaodong Song, working out of the University of Illinois, was studying something most people would find boring: seismic waves. Basically, the shock waves that travel through the Earth after big earthquakes. But Song wasn't looking for anything new. He was just trying to measure something simple: how the inner core rotates. Scientists already knew Earth's inner core spins slightly differently than the rest of the planet. That part wasn't shocking. What was shocking is what the data refused to explain. Song and his team tracked seismic waves from earthquakes that happened in almost the exact same location, but decades apart. If the inner core was one solid, simple structure, the waves should have behaved the same way every single time. They didn't. The waves kept doing something weird. Something inconsistent. Something that shouldn't happen if there was only one core sitting in the middle of our planet. At first, they thought it was measurement error. Then they checked again, and again. The anomaly wouldn't go away. That's when the question turned from "why is this happening?" to "what if there's something we're not seeing at all?" And that question led to one of the most mind-bending discoveries in modern geology. There isn't just one inner core. There are two, a core within a core. The outer part of what we call the inner core is solid iron, just like we always believed. But buried inside that, roughly 400 miles deep into it, there's an even smaller, denser structure, with a different crystal arrangement, different behavior, and possibly a different history entirely. Scientists are now calling it the innermost inner core. And here's the part that should give you chills. This inner core appears to have formed under conditions completely different from the core surrounding it. Meaning at some point in Earth's ancient past, something changed dramatically deep inside our planet. And we have no complete explanation for what caused it. Let that sink in for a second. We've sent rovers to Mars. We've photographed black holes light years away. We've mapped the entire observable universe, stretching billions of light years in every direction. But the center of our own planet? We're still uncovering secrets buried right beneath our feet. Secrets so deep we can't even drill anywhere close to them. The deepest hole humans have ever drilled barely scratched 8 miles into the Earth. The core sits nearly 4,000 miles down. We will never physically touch it. Everything we know comes from listening, from catching the whispers of earthquakes as they pass through the planet like an X-ray. And those whispers just told us something we weren't ready to hear. So why does this matter? Why should any of this affect your life at all? Because this inner core isn't just a cool science fact. It's directly connected to the magnetic field protecting every living thing on Earth right now. That magnetic field is what shields us from deadly solar radiation. It's the reason we're not getting cooked by the sun every single day. And that magnetic field is generated by movement deep inside our planet. Movement connected to the exact region scientists are now realizing is far more complex than we ever imagined. If the innermost core behaves differently than expected, shifts differently, cools differently, ages differently, it could quietly be shaping the magnetic field that keeps us alive. Not overnight, not dramatically, but over long stretches of time that shape planetary history. Here's the twist that made scientists sit back in their chairs. This innermost core might not just be a leftover structure from Earth's formation. Some researchers believe it could represent an entirely separate phase of Earth's history, a moment maybe over 1 billion years ago, when the core was cooling, solidifying, and behaving in a completely different way than it does now. Which means that buried in the center of our planet is basically a fossil. not a fossil of a creature. A fossil of time itself. A frozen record of what Earth used to be, sealed away in solid iron, untouched, unreachable, and unknown until now. Take a breath, because that's the moment this becomes personal. You have spent your entire life standing on top of a planet that still had secrets it hadn't told anyone. Not scientists, not governments, no one. For your whole life, and every life before yours, humanity had no idea this existed. And now, in your lifetime, in the same years you're scrolling, studying, working, figuring out your own future, we found it. You are alive during the exact window humanity is uncovering what's actually inside our own home planet. That's not a coincidence to brush past. That's something worth feeling. Because here's the truth this discovery quietly hands you. If our planet, something we've lived on top of for our entire existence, still had layers we never knew about, hidden depth, hidden history, a completely different version of itself buried just out of reach, then maybe that says something about you too. Maybe you don't fully know what you're capable of yet either. Maybe there are layers in you that haven't been discovered, tested, or revealed, not because they don't exist, but because no one's gone deep enough to find them yet. So here's where we land. Earth just reminded us that mystery isn't gone. It's not something that only existed in the past, waiting to be fully solved by now. It's still here, right now, closer than the stars, buried right beneath your feet. And if the ground you're standing on can still shock the smartest scientists alive, imagine what else is still waiting to be discovered about the universe, about this planet, and maybe about yourself. If this blew your mind even a little, don't scroll past it, subscribe, because the next thing we uncover might change how you see the world all over again.